Hey guys, welcome back to Little Boy Customs. It's been 11 months since I showed you the 51 Ford, and today we're going to start that process by cutting it up. Let's get started. So this episode is going to be totally different than any of the others. Typically, I kind of know what I'm doing and what's going on and all that good stuff for the most part on how to build what I am trying to build. On this one here, I have no idea on what I'm doing. So if you're here because you think I'm going to tell you some magical things on how to chop a top and section a car and shorten it and all that good stuff, I know how to shorten it. I have no idea how to do the chop top on this car. It was already chopped before I bought it halfway. They chopped it, they started cutting it up, but they never did finish it. And I have decided that I'm going to also section the car. That's what the two white lines are that running down through here. 5 inches out of the front, 2.5 inches out of the back to put these two together. But first thing I'm going to work on is I'm going to take 1 inch out of this car. If you haven't seen any episodes on it, about 11 months ago I announced that I was going to build this car. And since then I've been doing brainstorming and all kinds of good things trying to figure out how to build this car. I'm putting this on a 2010 Ford Taurus all-wheel drive, and that car is 1 inch shorter than this car, so I need to cut in between the two blue tapes right there and take that inch out. So that's the first thing I'm going to start with because I know how to do that part of it. Then I'll work on getting the roof taken care of and put back on, hopefully. And if it's not scrapped by then we'll section the car and try to get that done. And if one of two things is either going to happen with this build. It's either going to be way cool looking and put back together, or it's going to be scrap metal when I get done with it. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, like I said. So if you have ideas, comments below on how to do certain things, please leave me a comment. Let me know. But we're going to try to do our best on trying to make this car work and make it look as cool as I possibly can with my skill set. So anyway, let's get started on cutting this inch out and go from there. So the first thing I really want to take care of is knocking out this back glass. As you can see, the person that was doing the chop top on this car, there's a little section right here that needs to be cut out. Other than that, the rest of this is all loose. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And then they were already in the process of putting the top back on, as you can see over here. And I need to cut this piece off right here because when I take that inch out here, this piece will move forward 1 inch, and then I need this to move back 1 inch. So in order to do that, I need to cut this off right here. So I'll take care of that also, and then we'll get started on cutting the inch out of the center on the whole thing. So, have you ever started a job and then realized that you forgot to do something that was pretty important in the job? Yes, sir. Well, guess what I forgot? Yeah, I started cutting the side of this car and then forgot that I never put any bracing in there. So the car started folding in on itself. Bracing's in place now. I guess let's get back to cutting the side of the car. Rookie mistake. All right, so it's been a few weeks since I've been working on this car. I did get it cut in half. Let me show you. And I have not put it back together yet, but we took the inch out right here. We also took the firewall out, and we took most of the floorboard out. Now, the plan was I was going to use these perches or brackets, whatever you want to call them. This is where it connected to the frame, and I was going to leave this car on the frame and move the front half of this car back to get to the back half and then weld it all back together. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. I couldn't get the two to line up because of the different angles. So took the car off the frame setting over here, and now we have it back together, and we're going to try to get these two welded back together. So I'm going to use these little bracket things here. They hold metal together really well and makes a nice little seam for you to weld into. So that's my plan. I'm going to use those in order to go down through here. I do need to jack up the rear end of the car a little bit to get this to level out and work out right. But we're going to put those on there, weld that back up. It's going to take several hours to weld this back up because you don't want to heat the metal up. It'll end up warping like it did on my truck over here. So I don't want that to happen. So I'll just take my time, weld this back up, weld the other side back up, and then I guess the next step is working on the roof. So instead of welding this car back together on this episode here, I want to bring the donor car in, and we need to start tearing it apart, as in cutting the panels off of it, roof, that kind of stuff. I've already taken everything that I can bolt off that car off of it, but I want to bring that car in, and I know the rear end of that car could be slightly wider than the rear end of this car, and before I weld the inch back together, those two pieces back together, I want to make sure that I don't need to cut down through here in this area here and get the this side of the car widened back here to go onto the donor car. So that's going to start the next episode. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode here. If you like the episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so, and make sure to turn on that bell notification. That's the quickest way to find out that we have a new video out. Until next time, thanks for watching. Be safe. Peace.